we should be done with PowerPoint Project 3, Part 2. A lot of animation. Going to do some extra things in here that are not in the book, just because animation can make your presentation a lot more interesting to your audience, and animation can be frustrating. So by you learning to do some wild animation, doing the regular animation should be easy peasy for you. But we'll get the regular stuff done first, and then we'll add a little extra animation. So where we are in our project, where we left off last time, we had inserted this picture from our data files that we had downloaded and extracted over here, and we had our PowerPoint Module 3, and down in the module there were multiple files in there. The one we used for the image was that one called support. We're going to be using that little video clip as well. We pulled in extra slides, reused slides from this presentation and put them in here and applied the new formatting to it. So these are the two extra slides that came in. We brought this one in, we replaced a picture that was there. Just as well could have made a blank slide and inserted a picture. So the reuse wasn't that terribly useful. But knowing how to reuse slides from other presentation is pretty handy. They showed us that we can use the insert slides from another presentation down here by reuse slides. But remember, you can just open that PowerPoint, copy paste like normal. So I think the copy paste to me is much more natural. Okay, so we came to this picture, we adjusted the size of it, and if we want the exact size with it selected, we can see the exact size here. And I don't think we have to be super exact there. Let's see if they specified the size in the I don't think they specified the size in the actual textbook. So we have approximate size of that. Now we'd like to adjust the colors of that. Let's play this slide and see if we could possibly improve the colors. It's actually not too bad. It's a little bluer, a little cooler than our background yellowish, and perhaps we want to get to blend in with that background a little bit more. One way to do that is to come over here to the color adjust over here, and I could adjust the color until I see it blending nicely with the background. So I just hover over these, picking one that may have it blend a little more closely with the background. See, it's gotten much warmer. When it's reddish, they call that warm. And the one that they would like to choose is this one up here. I think that's not as good a picture. It's way bluer. Let's find one that perhaps matches a little better. How about, I'm thinking that, well, let's see. That one there does increase the saturation, but notice how much deeper the colors are there. I'd say either that one or that one. I kind of like the graphic effects of that one. So I'm going to go with this one. Upper right, color saturation. Now you have lots of other choices. As you hover over it, you get a preview of it. This is just the color effect, or the color adjustment we're going to do. Now if I click off of that, play the slide, I think it's a little more interesting, but we can do more. Let's see if we can, what other adjustments they'd like us to do. We'd like to add an artistic effect to that picture. So an artistic effect gives us a little more adjustment on that with the picture selected. Over here in artistic effects, let's see what we have available here. As I hover over it, I will see the preview in my slide. Some rather abstract ones, fuzzy, faint, a lot of interesting effects, scary, little tiling effect. All these effects can be done, and in the book they ask us to choose, I think it was this one. I'm going to let you pick the one you like. That's the one they choose in the book. Much more mild effect than these others. A little glossy. I'll let you pick the one you think might attract your audience to say, hey, what's going on here? Let's pay attention to this person. They have some interesting pictures here. Maybe I'll listen to what they're saying. So I'll let you pick the one that you think would go well. And you can be scary if you like. This is all about learning about the effects. In a business presentation, of course, you have to be more conservative. That's kind of cool, that kind of the abstract. And if you want complete control over it, notice you can go to Artistic Effect Options and adjust all the things here on your own. Angle, distance, color, of a shadow, of a glow. You have complete control over here in the Artistic Effects. And let's see, down here, it looks like there's not many options except picking from the selected options. There's not many variations. You can vary the shadow, but in the format picture, Artistic Effects only gives you a choice of that same set of artistic effects. And with this one, if you hover over it, you don't get the preview. So here, if I hover over it, at least I get a preview of it while I hover. So pick whatever one you like. I'm going to go with that one for now because that's kind of whimsical. And let's see if they want us to do anything else, just to practice all the possibilities there. They want to adjust the softness of it. So let's see how we can adjust the softness over here under corrections here. Let's see what kind of soft. We have brightness, sharpen, soften. And if you hover over it, you'll see that the edges of things get harder or fuzzier. I'm going to sharpen it just a tiny bit. So be familiar with these variations in your color. If you ever want to get the original picture back, I don't think there is a reset. Once you apply something, it sticks that way. If you want to get back to the original picture, you have to go back to your original. And remember, you can always make a copy of your original, set it off the side of your slide in case you ever want to start with the original again and apply some different effects. All right, so we have some effects. We don't have a title yet. At some point, we're going to put a title in here. Right now, it's flat 2D. There's more picture effects over here now. So we have the color effects, artistic and transparency and color. But now we have more picture effects over here. I can choose my picture effects here or choose a built-in combination already created for me. It's not going to lose the artistic effect I've applied, but it can apply a border, and some of them have like a 3D effect on my picture. The one they would like us to choose is this one here, the bevel perspective. So one thing, here's an important thing to remember. When I choose one of these preset effects, I can yet come over and add more effects, change the border, change some shadow or reflection or glow. And then if I come back here and choose a preset, most of the time I lose any customization of that preset. So if you want to do a preset and then apply an effect, make sure that you're happy with the preset. Anything you add here, it will remember until you decide to go, if you decide to go back to a different preset, you may lose any extra things you do to it, like a rotation. Anything here that you change will go away most of the time if you decide, wait a minute, I want a different style. So pick your preset, but then you can customize. So there's our preset, the beveled perspective applied to that image. So lots of fun things you can do, and of course when you apply the effect, you may be adjusting how the picture fits on your screen. So we'll leave it there. When we come and get the title, we may be doing some adjusting later, because we're going to be putting a title somewhere here in a bit. Okay, let's get our title in, and then we'll arrange them nicely on this title slide. So for our title, we're not going to just draw a text box. They're pretty good. We want something a little more interesting than a text box. We're going to insert into this slide a lovely word art. So insert. Over here is word art. So not a boring, well, they're not boring, but they're not as fancy as word art. So I'll click word art, and I can choose what style of lettering. Let's choose that second row center for my style of lettering in the word art. So insert, word art, second row middle, and it pops up a placeholder. And all you have to do is start typing, and what I'm going to type here is sleep well tonight. Just start typing, and it will replace that placeholder. Well tonight. Tonight. And it's sitting right on top of the picture. Let's adjust that up here, and then we'll arrange things after we apply a style to this. This is a cool thing about the word art. I can apply lots of styles to my word art. First thing I can do is in the style of my word art, right here. No, that's not it. With the word art, where is my, let's try this guy right here. There we go. Underneath, what is that? When I hover over it, what does that say? That is the text effects. So here is text color, or text fill, text outline, text effects. There's a lot of cool effects. Let's go down to that bottom effect. Something that used to be only in the fancy Adobe products. Now we have this available in word art. I can apply all sorts of interesting effects to my text. Waves, follow a circle, a lot of crazy things. We're going to do the fairly mild wave down effect. That's the inflate. Is that the wave down? Inflate. There's the wave down effect. I'm going to apply the wave down effect, which gives it just a mild little waviness. But let's enhance that a little bit by enlarging it, grabbing a corner, and now I can adjust that little yellow dot and give it slightly more waviness. This little dot allows me to adjust the slant of my sleep well tonight. Okay. Since the picture is slanting, might as well make my word slant. So the little yellow dots, remember, whenever you see a yellow dot, that gives you some adjustment on your graphic. I'm not terribly impressed. I only have a tiny little adjustment in the waviness. So I'm going to make it as wavy as possible. And because I'm kind of overlapping the picture, I'm going to adjust the size of my picture a bit now. Now this adjustment is a little crazy because when I adjust, it goes back to the 2D picture. When I let go, it shows me the 3D effects. So you can't always trust that, oh no, the words are on top of the picture. Well, no, they actually aren't. When I let go, I see that 3D goes underneath. I think I'll move this over to match the top of that image. That's sort of matching the slant of it. I'm going to adjust the slant just a tiny bit. And I think that goes well with the slanting picture, slanting text. Let's move that down a tiny bit. I'm using my arrow keys to adjust the position by clicking there. Adjust the position a bit with my arrow keys. And I think that's pretty good. Kind of slanting with the picture. And again, because it's waved, if I ever adjust it, it goes back to the normal text. I have to let go to see the actual waviness applied. So remember how we did that? We did an insert, word art, and then the effects on the word art over here in the formatting, shape effects. I can apply other effects, reflection, glow, bevel, 3D rotation, shadow, but the transform I think is one of the more interesting effects I can apply to my word art. So Sleep Well Tonight is now above my picture. In the textbook they put it right on top or right beneath the picture. I kind of like it up here. They also rotate the text a bit. Let's see what we can do. We're going to rotate and adjust the fill. Let's try the rotation on this. They apply a little rotation. Let's see what that will do for us. I hover over it. I see the rotation. I'm not terribly impressed. I can hardly see what it's doing. So the preview isn't very helpful right now. Add a little perspective to it. I think I'll choose that. Added a tiny bit of perspective. And they would also like us to fill it or to outline it with a dark red. And then we're going to fill it with a dark green. So let's do the outline with that was the fill. We're going to fill it with a dark green. We're going to outline it with a dark red standard color. Kind of matching our theme color there. We did something dangerous here. Whenever you choose a color, it's much better, well, it's usually best to choose a theme color in case you decide to use a different theme. Because your theme color table will change with you, and usually it does a pretty good match. Choosing a standard color means that no matter what theme color I chose, I'm always going to have this deep red for my boundary. Sometimes you want that. Sometimes you would like your colors to adjust with a different color table that usually matches well. And I think we're done now with that title page. We love the word art so much that when we go now to this second slide, we would like to have this be the cool word art, so we don't go from an exciting word art to plain text. To convert that to word art, all I need to do is select through the text on the second slide, and I want to apply a style to that. So I go over here to the, make sure I do this right, to the shape format, and now I can apply a style sitting there in the format. So I have that selected. Now I can say, you know what, I like a particular style. Let's go with the deep red text. And if I ever want to apply a style to that text, I could do all the same things now that I could do to word art. This one I probably don't want to make very wavy because the text beneath there is plain. Let's do the wave down and maybe adjust a little bit so it's not obnoxiously large. And I think if I adjust the size, it will shrink my text size a little bit. It does stretch it out to fill the box. That gives it a little bit of an effect to kind of go with that. So we turned it to word art. We could have just changed our font color, but turning it to word art lets us also apply that same wave to that title. Kind of going with a similar theme, the little waviness, relaxation, waves of relaxation. Okay, now we have that adjusted. We can do some animations now. We're going to be coming in and bringing in some video in a second. But let's think of how we might want to view this slide. Right now, when I play this slide, everything appears at once. Well, suppose I'm talking through this and I want to remember these points and not have them all showing up until I decide for them to show up. I would like to first of all animate even the title of this slide. I want this to be a blank slide until I click something. So I select this object, this text box, and I go to my animations page. We're going to spend some time animating now. In the animations, green means it's invisible until that animation happens. And if I click here, I'll see all the green entrance animations that are available to me. We can fly in, we can float in. Let's go ahead and do a float in entrance for this title. I choose float in, and I notice that is now selected. I also have effect options. Let's have it float in from the top. I can choose effect options and have it do a float down. Anytime you have an animation, you can adjust its options here or down in the little lower right corner. There's more options you can adjust, where I can play a sound. I can set its timing, how fast it comes, or how the text is animated. We're going to leave those alone for now, but we'll come back to those. Now let's see the effect of that. I play the slide. Notice I do not see the title until I click, because it's waiting for the entrance. Now I click and it floats from the top. I'm going to hit escape to come back and edit that now. So there's my animation of the title. And since we're animating the title, we might as well animate the text of the paragraph below it. And we also think, you know, why I shouldn't have to wait. I'm not gonna want to wait for a click here. Let's just have this float in maybe a second or two after I show the slide. Rather than waiting for me to click, I might forget to click, and the audience is going to be looking at me like, what's going on? Why are you showing me a blank slide? So let's have it automatically come in. Instead of here, start waiting for a click. Let's change that animation of that particular paragraph or title. Let's have it come in after, or let's see, they want it to be on, they change it from on click to with previous. Now, we'll see what with previous or after previous, how that changes. Let's have it with previous, meaning as it enters, we're going to have this fade or float in from the top. But let's give it a little bit of a delay. Not have it do immediately. Let's have it go a little slower. Change the duration. Let's change the duration to 2 seconds, and let's maybe wait a second before it floats in. We don't want to wait too long. Let's see the effect of that now when I play my slide. No clicks. 1, 2. It slowly floats down. So your audience will wonder, hey, how did you do that? You didn't click again. It just floated in, took 2 seconds to float down, and it delayed 1 second after the slide shows. I'm going to increase that duration to 3 seconds just to make it a little more interesting, peaceful. And now let's animate the other text. All of these I want to show up as I click. I don't want to have them automatic because I might pause and answer a question. So I could select that text. And let's see, the animation for this, let's do an entrance animation. And since it's text, let's see what I have here. Let's do something interesting. How about resume for the entrance? Kind of an interesting effect. And I immediately see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning it's going to animate those lines, those bullet points, one at a time. Using the zoom entrance. Let's see how that will look by playing the slide. Automatic, that floats down. I start talking and I mention, oh yeah, the first thing to do about controlling, keep your cell phone away. It's waiting for another click. I think that's a pretty nice little animation, one paragraph at a time. So now I have an entrance animation applied to the title. It shows a 0 because it's happening at the same time my slide shows up. It's not waiting for a click. That's start with previous. These, I click on that, I see start on click. The default duration of half a second. If you would like that to take longer, you could adjust your duration. You probably don't want a delay after the click. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but sometimes, I don't know when you would want a delay after click. Now we want to bring in a little video that's going to show up in this little box. Remember, the point of these placeholder boxes is that whenever you choose what goes in that box, it will automatically fit it in that placeholder. I could just do insert video and size it myself, but this template makes sure that whatever I bring in will fit within this box, and I'm going to bring in a video. And remember, this video is going to come from the video supplied with this project, which I have downloaded from the project, the book data site, which I got over here when I went to the syllabus and went to the book companion site, which is in the syllabus. And I went down to the PowerPoint and got those PowerPoint data modules from the data site, companion site, downloaded them, extracted them. I see that there's an MP4 file in there, and now from inside of PowerPoint, I'm going to click on this little video icon right here, and because the last time I brought in data, I had browsed over to this folder, it remembers the last folder I went to, and if you haven't been there, you will find it under that, well, wherever you downloaded that, probably in your downloads folder. In this folder, PowerPoint Module 3 data, down in the module folder, there is the video file we want to insert into that placeholder. Once I click insert, oh, I have to select it. Now click insert. There we go. It fits that video right there in that little box. Let's see, before I do anything more, let's see what it'll look like when I play the slide. There it is sitting here. It's waiting for the click for these things to appear. Whenever I hover over it, I get the little play button showing up. I don't think the video has any audio associated with it, but if it did, I would hear the audio. It zooms in a little bit on the sleeper. The alarm's going to go off. Wake up, smile, turn it off. Go back to sleep. Now, that's a little long. We'd like to adjust the portion of that, only the portion where he's picking up the phone. I can hit escape to go back to edit. Now let's focus here on what I can do with this video. I've inserted the video. I have the video format here, how it's formatted. I can put that in the same, I can apply a 3D effect to that video as well. And that's how about we apply that same 3D bevel like we had in our title slide. So I'm using that same 3D bevel. I can apply the same effects to that as well. I think I can. Let's see, video format. I think I can apply the same. Can I apply this? I don't know if I've never tried applying an artistic effect, but I can adjust my color over here. Notice how that picture is rather dark. We'd like to adjust the contrast on that to make it a little better. It's not too bad. It looks dark now, but when I play the slide, let's see if I play the slide again. Let's verify. Yeah, it is a little dark on the screen. We need to do a color adjustment. So with it selected, I can come over here and increase the brightness or contrast a bit. Let's try, let's see what we'll do well. That it's almost like I have to go full increase the contrast. That washes it out a little bit. Let's try that one. I can adjust my color on that. The contrast. And let's see what else I can do. I can adjust my warmness of the color. I think I'm happy with the current setting. I could make it black and white if I wanted, or a tinted. I think I'll leave the tint alone. I could make it strange, almost completely washed out. I think I'll leave that option. And I can even apply I can even apply some other video effects, such as a reflection, just for interesting effect. The thing that I would like is that video to not have to wait for me to click on. So I want to adjust the playback of this video. So the video is there on the screen. Here in the playback, I can decide, do I wait until I click to view it? When it plays, do I want it to play full screen? If it's not playing, have it be invisible. Rewind after playing. Or have it just play automatically. And I think they want us to have it play automatically. Yeah, we're going to have it play automatically. Remember, I don't see any of these controls until I have that selected. We want to have it play automatically. And I would like it to play just a section of that, not take the entire time, where I can do a thing we call trimming that video. Let's show how we can trim this video. So I have it play automatically, but I'm going to come here to the trim part, and I only want it to play where he opens his eyes. So rather than have this long sleeping, let's reduce that amount of time by grabbing the green start position of my video, and let's have it start just before his alarm goes off. Or how about there? And let's have it end right after he puts it back down. So have it end right there. Grabbing the end and start marker allows me to trim the video, and it even shows me at what point I have trimmed it to. So I've trimmed it to about the 19 second. It's starting about 7 seconds in. The total was 25 seconds. So I've saved about half the time of that video playing. And then I click OK. When I play my video, let's see, it's set to play automatically. Let's see what happens now when I play the slide. When you're doing animation, it helps to test it several times. I don't see it playing. I thought it was supposed to play automatically. Let's click. Nope. If I click on it, now it plays. I'm going to hit escape. I thought I had set it up to play automatically. What did I do wrong? So I wanted to play automatically. What did I do wrong here? That's interesting. I thought it would play automatically. Well, let's add a little fade in here to my slide. Let's do a little fade in of maybe half a second, and do a fade out of maybe 1 second. See the effect of that. Make sure play automatically. Maybe I'm just being impatient. I'm going to save this, and let's play this again. That's coming automatically. The video is not playing automatically. Well, let's see what it looks like. Let's see what the fade in does. Didn't see much of a fade in. Let's see if it does a fade out. Should be a 1 second fade out. Oh, I'm not impressed. And my automatically playing is not working. Well, I guess I'll ignore that. I did set it to play automatically, and I did trim it. So the main thing to remember about videos, this will be on your midterm. You're going to be given a little video to put in. You'll be asked to bring in a video and say, trim the video. You'll be inserting a video, trimming it using the trimming tool, setting the start and end, and you'll see where you are when you grab and move the start and end. Automatically, I'm guessing there's a little bug here that's supposed to play, but I did set the setting to automatic, and I put a fade in and a fade out. I don't see much effect of that, and I don't see many options for the fade in and fade out. I'm thinking I'd rather have like a fade in from black and fade out from black, but so I'm not sure how effective that is. But now we know how to bring in video and adjust our fade in and trim our video. This is new to a lot of people. This is, and I have recorded this in case you ever want to go back as you review for the final, reviewing how you insert the video, trim it, adjust its fade in, adjust how it starts. Loop until stopped. Sometimes that might be handy if you have a cute little video like a little kid driving his tricycle in a circle. That might be fun to loop until stopped. Here, constantly picking up the alarm might not be that interesting. Now, we've added a little animation now. We're going to be doing more here, more extra. The only animation they ask us to do in the textbook now is to animate between slides. They call that the transition. Transition between slides. If I go back to the Transitions tab, Transitions between slides. Here's all the transitions available. I can have subtle transitions as I go from one slide to another. I can have crazy exciting transitions, such as the tornado. Where's the tornado? The vortex. There's a subtle vortex transition from one slide to another. Let's play that full screen. So click on that slide, play it. I've set the transition to be vortex to the next slide. There's the vortex. Just imagine doing this though on a older computer. That vortex transition will go very slow or even very clunky. So be careful with too fancy of a transition, and I'm still waiting for the video to play automatically. It's still not doing it. I'm going to hit escape now, and I'm going to apply a transition between every slide. Now if I like vortex for all of them, I can come over here and just do apply to all. If I wanted to surprise me, I can choose random and have PowerPoint decide a random transition between slides, and click apply to all to have a random transition between all of them. Now if you know what you might want, like between 1 and 2, I want or if I want to do with them all, the origami, I think it's pretty silly. There's an origami that came in with one of the latest versions. If I want that origami between them all, I can click apply to all. And every slide transition will be the origami transition. And one way for me to know that there's a transition, I will see, I think this little star tells me that there's a transition or there's animations applied, including the transition. So you get to choose whatever transition you like. Choose one. You can apply a different one to each slide, let it choose with random, or pick one and experiment. The vortex is pretty exciting. If you want the same one on all of them, just do the apply to all and you'll get whatever transition you had on the slide selected will get applied to all of them. And now it's time to do a little extra animations. I want you to learn more than just the simple stuff we've done. Right now the only real animations we've done is the transition between slides and the animation of text. Everybody should know that. Good stuff to learn. But suppose I want to do something a little more interesting. How about in the control your exposure to light, let's have a little bed appear and slide across the screen. Just as a little whimsical thinking about sleep. First of all, now let's go get insert an online picture. Insert online picture, and let's just look for a bed. And if I want it cartoony, I can choose bed cartoon. Let's just see what we get for bed. Very realistic beds. Let's try bed cartoon. There we go. Let's choose any. You can choose any of those bed cartoons. I'll pick this one. insert that, and adjust the size of it down. I'm going to flip it left and right. And now, as part of my click sequence, I want this bed to slide off the screen to the right. So, it's there. I need an animation, not of an entrance, because I want it to just be there right away, but I want it to slide off my screen as the last click after I've discussed all my points. So to do that, I come over here, and instead of any of the green animations, I'm going to choose a red exit animation. And we'll have it fly out, but change the effect option to be fly to the right. So now you'll see a little number 5 here next to the image of that cartoony bed. And it shows as the last, as number 5, meaning it's the last transition that'll happen. Let's now see the effect of this. Play my slide. There's the transition into this slide. Clicking on all my points. 3, 4. Now the last transition will be that bed exiting. And there the video finally played automatically for me. So I'm wondering if it plays automatically after all my other transitions. Now you can arrow left to return to your previous animations just to see that happen again, and click and it slides off the screen. So there's one animation, an exit animation. Let's do another thing with an animation. That was adding an exit animation. You've already added entrance animations. Let's go to this slide, and we have sleep stages. Let's have another sleepy person. Let's look for an image, and let's look for a sleepy cartoon. How about sleeping cartoon? And let's see, we have somebody sleeping. You can pick whichever one you like. How about something? I like something similar to the previous one. I'll do this cute little bear. So here's my bear. Oh, there it is, tiny thing right there in the middle. And it has this extra stuff with it. I'm going to delete that extra stuff. I'm going to delete that little text box. I have to select that and delete it. There's my little bear image. Now this one, I want it to animate just a little bit whenever I click on it. This is another type of animation. So go to animations. We've done, oh, I have to have the picture selected. Now I can decide. I want it to be there at the start, so I don't want it to enter. I don't want to have it leave. I want it to teeter a little bit when I click on it. So let's add the teeter animation. It's called an emphasis animation. Now, right now, when I play the slide, I get the entrance of it, and it waits for a click and will teeter that bear once, and then the next click will take me to the next slide. I want that bear to teeter any time that I click on that bear. So I've added an emphasis animation, but I would like it to trigger or trigger that animation every time I click on it. That is done here with the little trigger choice. It already has the teeter emphasis animation initially set up to happen the first time I click. Let's change the trigger, instead of trigger on a click anywhere, to trigger on click of my picture. On click of picture. What that means is I will teeter every time that picture gets clicked. For a little bit of, again, a little bit of interest to your audience, it shows a little lightning here now instead of in a sequence click. And now let's see how that plays. Play the slide. The bear is going to be there. Here's my transition into my slide. There's the bear. Anytime I hover over it, I see my pointer change into a little pointy finger. Click on it, the bear teeters. And it might just be another point of interest for your audience to say, oh yeah, let's see what happens so if I poke the bear. There it teeters. Kind of a cute little effect. Again, just adding a little interest. And one more thing you can do here. I can, when it teeters, when it animates, I can go here to my effect options, either here, or I can affect my durations. But watch what I can do here in my effect options. I can have it play a sound when the effect happens. Several built-in sounds. If you want something to wake up your audience, you can make it a bomb or explosion or a hammer or laser. Whatever sound option you would like. And then clicking OK. Playing the slide. Anytime I click on the bear, I will get the teeter and the sound played. Probably not a very nice sound for sleepiness topic, but I can go back and adjust that option with that bear selected. I can change what sound plays. Let's do something a little more peaceful. How about a little breeze? The breeze is a very peaceful sound. Gives you a sample. Actually, I can click here to get a sample. Adjust my volume. I thought that wouldn't play it. I guess I won't see it. There's my breeze. You could record a sound and have that play when you trigger. Let's do one more. How about let's see this last. How about this last slide? Let's add a shape here, just to do a little practice of another type of animation. This will be our last animation for today, and PowerPoint 3 will be done. We'll be doing more as we practice for the midterm the next few days. Let's bring in a simple shape. Let's do a circle shape. And I'm going to put it right here. Just draw a circle right here. Now for the animation of this shape, I go to my animations. Choose an animation. Right now I could have an entrance. Let's add an entrance of a bounce. So we'll have it bounce before it's going to be invisible, and then it will bounce in. Okay? There it's going to bounce in. Another thing that many people don't know how to do, you have an entrance animation, you can add an additional animation. And the big mistake a lot of people do is, oh, I want another animation, I'll come over here and think I'm adding one, but if you change that one, you're actually changing the entrance to something else. So leave the entrance there and come here to add an additional animation. And I have the same menu pops up, and let's add now a custom path animation on top of the entrance animation. So now I have two animations. In order to finish this one, I click and draw a path for this circle to spin around and end up over here on my slide. This is my second animation. So remember what I did. I had an entrance animation, then I added an additional one. And now let's see what that does. Playing the slide. Here's my transition in. It's waiting for the ball to appear on a click. Here comes the bounce in. And now the next time I click, it's going to do that second animation of the motion to the other side of the slide. So many things you can do with animation. And as you get more complicated, it gets harder to figure out what's going on. You can always open up this animation pane to see what you have animating on that slide. If you have a lot of things on your slide, it's a signal that maybe you're doing too much crazy animation and maybe you should make it a different slide. In this class, I want to show you all the possibilities. But remember, in a regular, fairly conservative audience, you don't want to distract them too much. You want to entertain them mildly with a little bit of animation just to help them remember your subject. With that, you are done with PowerPoint Project 3. I'm saving that, and I will upload the video, and you have a wonderful day.